you can set, let's say if you have 1,000 jobs, then it depends on the priority in different things. So you can also say wait until when you schedule for it. Most of the time you just use perform later like this. Okay? So what if this job takes a long time? So I'm going to say sleep 5 seconds, 3 seconds. Now it makes sense, right? Because every single client now, I'm like, broadcast. It's actually broadcasting to everyone. But, let's say this task take a long time because I have to broadcast to 1,000 people. This now makes sense because the create action finish. So you can actually say rails.logger.info create is done, right? Okay. So let's try if it works. Now, it actually provides you the API, but you need to use one of the backend to handle jobs. Who here has used Sidekiq? No? Okay, well, there's Sidekiq that use a Redis database to manage your jobs. There's this one also uses Redis, but it's not as efficient. Delay job actually use your current PostgreSQL database to manage the job. There's a jobs table. Okay, this one is better because this is just a job. Redis is a key value database. It's not a relational database. It's just faster, simpler. So this is the best tool. There's something else called Sucker Punch. It's the laziest one. When you say run this job, it creates a new thread and run the jobs, and then the new guy just return. This is very easy for email. You don't have to need another database. But if this job fails, if this other thread fails, you lose that job, right? So it's not a very good production thing. But for your project, it works most of the time. Feel free to use it. Now, if you run Mac, you probably can do brew install Redis and stuff. So I already have Redis, right? So I just Redis server. Okay, so Redis server is just a database now. It accepts data to port 6397. And I'm going to install Sidekiq. And I run bundle. Okay, and in this, let's go to Sidekiq. Ruby gem, Sidekiq. And then read the instruction while this is installing. Now, here's another confusing thing, okay? Sidekiq can run without active job. What I just generated a job, right? Sidekiq came before Rails implemented active job. So Sidekiq can manage its own job. You can just ignore Rails active job. So what's the benefit of using active job? It means when you don't like Sidekiq anymore, you can change it to something else. So it's an adapter. Okay. However, if you use Sidekiq full job, it has more features, but you don't need all the features. So there is a get started. It's, there's a job, and Sidekiq way is it's got a worker. Sometimes I was like, what? Job, worker. It's sort of the same thing, right? A worker take care of it, run it. It's actually run a job. So when you look into this, there's an active job here. So Rails 4.2 and above provide a standard interface to connect. So then you can just tell Rails, hey, use Sidekiq for my thing. All right, let's do that. So how do you implement this? When you read this, you set it up when you set up your Rails application. Okay. Now this is application.rb. If for some crazy reason you want to run a different job queue for each environment, feel free to put it in here, okay? But I put it in application.rb because I want all the environment to use the same thing. Okay, I use Sidekiq. All right, I finished bundle. I have the job. And I set it up as Sidekiq. What else do I need to do? What else do I need to do? I test, right? So let's see. Go into this job. There must be a good way to test this. I'm doing this so that you, I can have, let's say, stream name data. I can create another job and then test it. Maybe I just do it here. Rails.logger.info performing job stream name data. Okay. So what if I go to Rails console and I call that job? Obviously, it's not going to run anything meaningful. So jobs at least. Okay. Just to show you, it's nothing magic. You say broadcast. Okay, Rails is a bit crazy here. Messages job. This is a class name. Normally, if you have this method, you have to do .new and then .perform, right? Is that right? Because it's an instance method. But Rails has a hook that just turned this into a class method. Only in Ruby you have all this craziness. So then you can actually call perform. Obviously, if you call it, it say is it perform now or perform later. So you see that's another crazy thing. They define two other dynamic method. You give perform, but actually it wants perform now or perform later. So I say perform now, and hello is the name of the stream. So maybe just messages room 1 or something like that, and then data is like blah 1, 2, 3. Remember, I sleep for 3 seconds. Okay, log 1, 2, 3. Looks good. So that's how it works, but it performed now. There's nothing to do with this guy. It runs right there. So what if I say perform later? It queue in the background. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't. There's a Redis lock somewhere. I think there may. Let's see if it's in there. Let's check the log folder. Oh, it doesn't have it. There's a config that show where the log is. How can we verify that this guy is run, guys? It's just you run this and it's just done. See, 3 seconds, but what's going on? What's going on? So Redis provide you something. What is it called? Redis. The reason why Redis is nice is that it provides you a web interface as well. Here. So how do I view that Redis interface? Sidekiq. I mean Sidekiq. Where's my server? Did I quit the server? Okay. And I think I have to mount it. So come on, Sidekiq/route. Uh-oh. Where's the Sidekiq route view? View. Okay, Sidekiq web view. You need to it runs as here mount Sidekiq web as a Sinatra app mounted on Rails that connect with the Redis backend and show you the result. So you need this in your application and in your routes. So similar to this cable thing, you're actually mounting another server, right? This is like Rack allow you to add more servers on top of each other, and I need to require this. Okay, so if I do this, Sidekiq. All right. So you see, it display. This is in real time. All the jobs that is going to run. And then there's a thing called queue. In this queue, I say perform later, and these jobs are supposed to be run. So it will be, when you deploy your your app to production, you can actually check this. Oh, this person got the email. Like, if this is 0, means all the emails have been sent. If you have a lot of traffic, maybe some are still being stuck. Now, if it fails, you can also see it will automatically retry. So let's say if it fails, the job fails because data is incorrect. You push changes to the server, it will try again. So the way it tries that if the method fails, it will try again in 1 second, try again in 2 seconds, try again in 4 seconds, 8 seconds, 16. Not like try again like crazy, but spaced out until later. It's like you try again every several minutes, and then until there's a setting until how many tries. So that's why background job is very important, right? It fails, especially for emailing someone. Like if you connect and you email, and the email server over there say, nope, like overload, I cannot send an email right now. Then your Ruby thing will crash and say, oh, I sent a request, but I didn't get a proper response. And then this Redis thing will make sure that it will send another, run the task again. But this will be naked to the public. So how do we protect it? Then you Google something like device, Sidekiq, authenticate. If you use any of those, then you can, you can make sure that it's an admin, right? You can password protect, and it will show you how. Okay. So there's a different reason. So in here, you can actually call it, and then make sure that if there's a column admin in the user table, then only admin can see it. Well, for your final project, it may be okay. It's up to you, but probably good to protect it. So read it up. It's another way is this super simple Sidekiq. This might be the best way to get started. When you use it like this, it pop up similar to your router password. It's called HTTP basic authentication, and you just put in the hard-coded password, and you don't need any admin role permission. This is good enough, right? Because you don't tell anyone this password, it's probably okay. Of course, I don't know, there may be ways for people to brute force it. Now, so that is action, where is it? Active job. Mailer is actually really basic. Go through it. There's one tip that I teach here, is that in email, there are 2 types of email, HTML or text, plain text. So there's one way, if you use some gem like this, you write in Markdown, and it will generate the both versions. Right? So in the last class, I actually walk through this. Markdown is amazing. I think it's really cool. It's convenient. Set it up. Deployment. By now, you know Heroku config, right? When you deploy to Heroku, do you know how to push the current data to Heroku? I have so many cool users locally. So one way is to extract all the data to a file and go there, and then you load it up. Okay? So I'm not using any of the thing here. I'm just gonna remove it, I guess. So I'm gonna reset everything. But if I do deploy this to Heroku, do I have Heroku? Oh, I don't. So I do Heroku create. I have this app. So very quickly, let's do that. Under Heroku here. Now the reason why you want to use PostgreSQL is that on Heroku it's best to use PostgreSQL. On localhost, if you use the same thing, then you will learn PostgreSQL a little bit. And it's the same, so the data you can synchronize if you want. After you have 1,000 users on your website, now you can pull all the data to your local host, and then it's convenient for you to test, right? And you can log in as that user, you see something. When you become more important, then your user become more important. Don't do that. You will see everything private about that user, right, on your computer. So be responsible. Now, there are some cool tools. You can just Google like PostgreSQL, how to dump data, how to load data. Right? So I include this. It's just a simple way where this guy is actually just write a rake task. When you do this with Heroku, it dumps all the data into a URL, and then you can just download that URL into a file, and then you call this PG, it's a Postgres tool locally, and you load all the information in that file into your database. There's no magic there, right? It makes sense. However, there is some magic if you use this PG push and PG pull. You can just put the database name and it just work. So I have, for example, git push Heroku. Now I'm on demo branch, so I have to do this, right? After I push, I migrate. What if I want to push all that nonsensical messages I have to Heroku? Okay, I want these rooms and stuff. So let's see. Where's the push? Did I open it somewhere? Let's close some of this stuff. Okay, one more time here. It's a little tricky. You need to understand this concept. You need to put in the name of the database. Okay. And what is the name of my database locally? What is it? Where is my local database? Usually it's your app name underscore development. That's the name, right? Okay, so I get it. And that's a my local DB thing. And then you want to push your local database to the thing over there, right? The reason why they require a name, because you may have your app, you may push to 5 different Heroku places, usually 2, one production, one staging. Staging is like, for testing some features. So I have Heroku already, so you can see if I type Heroku, git remote, I see my Heroku there, I already pushed there. What's my Heroku app name? Blooming C blah blah here. And right now I need to still run Heroku run Rails DB migrate. I have no seed, right? So thank you all for when you do homework, you put the seed there, it's kind of nice. But if you're lazy now, to Heroku, we do this, Heroku push, no, PG push. What is my thing? Lab 5 chat development. And what is my database name? Who knows? Oh my god, so slow. Okay, I don't have the name there. I have some nice information. Maybe this. This is how don't set this variable in your laptop. Rails will use this, right? Rails will use this database. You can actually open a a PHP admin. Some of you may use that for MySQL. You actually can use some GUI software to connect to this database. This is the password, username. This is the password, and then this is the address of the server. So that's how Heroku connect to it. You can put this thing on your machine like this, and then your local host actually work with the Heroku database, but don't do that. That's kind of crazy. What I want is to get this database URL. Funnily, in the past they named it this way, so now you just don't worry. You can just do database URL. And there's only one app, so you don't need to do app-sushi. All right. How do we do that? It just say the app is not thing, so you have to do one more step, which is PG reset for that database. You have to pass in the database URL once again. Now you can pass confirm, right? But yeah, I can type it. Bloom means C80097. So you want it to be empty first. This is a good step. So there are always two steps: reset and then push. Now I push. And Heroku once in a while likes to update. Now, if you're lazy, you can combine them into one single bash script, right? And put it in the bin folder, bin/sync push to Heroku. And you can automate that. So, you see, I'm pushing all the data from my local server. PostgreSQL is very strict, so there's a little bit of error when it comes to indexing. They're just like warning. So when I'm done with, you know, all the stuff in there, then you can just check.